I made over 150k in 24 hours using these 10 launch tactics. If you're new here, my name's Luke Johnson and I spent over a decade launching products, education, supplements, making six figures in less than 24 hours multiple times per year. And now I help online personal trainers like Josh achieve 15k from one 90-minute webinar, and Steve, who managed to get 168 people pay £200 for his 7-week challenge. Later on, I'm going to break down how my client Stuart managed to get 20 people from his challenge to sign up with him for one-to-one coaching. By the end of this video, you're going to have the 10 essential launch tips to ensure that your next launch is your best launch, saving you a decade of trial and error and learning from someone that's directly had success launching for over 10 years. I'm now going to walk you through 10 launch tips, and at the end, I'm even going to give you the opportunity to get access to my launch resources. Tip 1, your launch should have 6 different phases, but this is what tends to happen. They come up with an idea to launch a challenge. They work on it behind closed doors, not talking about the launch. Before they know it, it's a week before they launch and only they know about it. They put some posts out on social media and the reach sucks, which we're going to address soon. They send an email or a few emails on the week of the launch. They open up sign-ups and they don't get the result they wanted. This is what you need to do instead. Give yourself more time. I say between 120 and 60 days to launch. If it's something new and higher price, give yourself 120 days. If it's already been launched and it's cheaper, then give yourself 60 days. So your launch needs to be broken down into the different phases. Pre-launch is basically you're just working on building out the offer, building out the marketing campaign and the plan itself. Then we're going into the pre-launch, which is again getting people excited for the launch. Then we have early access, where we're going to try and incentivize people to join your priority list. The general access, then you have the close, that fear of missing out, and then we go to deliver. Timing matters, especially when it comes to fitness related challenges. There's certain times of the year that perform better than others. So what I'm going to show you now is sort of the best times to launch. You might think January is a really good time to launch for fitness related. Now, in person, fantastic. However, for online, if it's really cheap, it might be worthwhile. But if you are going to charge more for your challenge, it's not the best time because they've just spent all of their money over the Christmas period. They don't get paid to the end of the month. So this is why I'm going to say it's probably average time here. As we go into February and March, you'll see that that is a really good time because they've tried to do it on their own. They've not had great success and now they need a little helping hand. And then this stays pretty high from April and May, because in May, you've got people that then want to get ready and in shape for July. All of a sudden, as you get into June, July, well, no one really wants to do a challenge because they're on holiday and they probably left it too late to get in shape. And if they're parents, they're probably going to have time in July and August where they've got the 7-week holiday. And then as we get into September, you think the kids start going back to school. Therefore, the actual increase of demand goes up again for September, but then it's slowly and quite quickly then drops back down to December because no one really wants to start getting in shape just before December. They're going to wait until January. So that's what happens there when we look at timing. Now, moving on, I've said the best times to launch. March, you've got like resolution recovery, as you might call it. Then you've got May. You've got your pre-summer motivation. September, they've just been on holiday. They didn't enjoy their taking their top off in front of everyone by the beach. January, which again, great for in-person or lower price challenges, but not so great when it comes to people having the disposable income to invest. Another little pro tip here is make sure you align signups with payday cycles. And now this will vary based on countries. In the UK, we get paid typically at the 28th or the end of the month. Moving on to tip number 2. Whenever you're having your launch, you're always going to have the battle between product and promotion. And depending on the different stages, look at it as more of a continuum where at the earlier stages in the pre-launch, you'll be spending more time on the product building out the offer. Once you get at that pre stage and you go into pre-launch phase where you're really building up that hype, you want to spend most of your time on the promotion side of things. Once you get paid, you also then switch all the way back and everything should be focused on that delivery phase of the launch where you're just making sure you're giving a great experience and achieving great results, because that's going to help with the next launch and promoting that one. Now, when it comes to fitness challenges, we can break them down into 3 different types. So we have the group coaching, which is more generic, typically delivered via like Google Drive or Dropbox. There's no one-to-one check-ins and members choose their programs themselves. When we look at personalized coaching, we have members complete an onboarding form and we assign a specific program using some fancy automation if you've got it, or you'd manually assign them a program specific to their needs. And this typically includes like a weekly or bi-weekly check-in, normally in the form of written. you've got your customized coaching. Essentially, it's one-to-one coaching, but there's a start date and an end date. It's highly tailored to each client. Group coaching, you probably will charge around £50 to £75 per 4 weeks. When you look at personalized, you'll be charging around 75 to 100, and customized 100 to 150. If you're not GBP, then get a currency converter online and work that out. So simply, if you're going to do 8 weeks, is probably the sweet spot when it comes to a challenge. It's not too short and it's not too long. Just double whatever that price is there. So for 8 weeks, it may be 150 to 200 pounds. We're now going to move on to tip 3, which is extremely important, and it is growing your email list. Now, ideally, you want to be doing this over time, and especially when it comes to launching. As you can see here, you own your email list. You do not own your Instagram account or your YouTube channel. You basically rent. Have you noticed why social media hates it when you promote? Because you're trying to get their users off their platforms. You might be trying to take them from Instagram to YouTube, or again, capturing their email, taking them to a sales page. They want people to stay on their platform. And I'm going to show you how you can actually capture emails on Instagram via the DMs. Have an email list prior, keep building that, build your own audience. The bigger your email list, the easier it's going to be when it comes to selling. What you want to do for your launch is have a priority list. Now, this isn't to give them anything bonus wise. You're just trying to get people on that priority list. And this is a really good indicator on how well you will perform during that launch. So step 1, your goal is to get people on the priority list, incentivize them with early bird price, so discounted price, giving them early access, time sensitive bonuses, as well as bonuses based on a specific number of signups. Once you've got people on the priority list, your next step is to get people to sign up as soon as possible. That's why you will have first 20 people that sign up will win Workout With Me in-person event. Plus you'll get access to X, Y, and Z. So you want to reward those early investors. As I mentioned earlier, you can guess your success rate ahead of time. Typically, you take your priority list and you would say, worst case scenario, you're going to convert at 10%, and probably at a really good case scenario, you'll be converting at 40%. There's 2 strategies to grow your email list. You've got 1, which is volume focused, and 2, which is quality focused. I'm actually going to show you both examples here. So Steve managed to convert at 16.8%. We went volume focused. We had people just opt in via ManyChat, where they didn't go to any opt-in page. We took their email and we just added them to that, and we got over 1,000 people on these priority lists. Now with Stuart, we still use ManyChat, but we took them through to a sales page, which wasn't a sales page at the time. It was a priority list opt-in page where we actually displayed the price. So his actual priority list was a lot less, but his conversion rate was significantly higher than Steve's. So you've got to make that decision. Do you want to try and increase volume and get as many people on that priority list as possible? Or do you want to actually filter them out and make it a little bit more resistance to get people onto your priority list? Higher quality, higher conversion rate. There's pros and cons for both. We use a software called Systemize to Scale, which is basically high level, and we use a short opt-in page. Now, most gurus would say short opt-in page, you get a higher conversion rate. And that was exactly what we found. We had a 32.82% opt-in rate versus the longer one, which we can see here, which still had a really good conversion rate. It was just 27.24%. Not as many opt-ins, but again, it gave them more detail. The people that opted in via that would have been a higher quality. For my client Stuart here, you can see this is his actual page. We had 27.5%. It pretty much is the sales page, which I'm going to go through in a bit, I think in tip 7. And you can see here, it's got before and afters, it's got the detail, it's got exactly how much it cost as well. The people knew before opting in, this is how much it is, and therefore less people, but a high conversion rate. Now we're moving on to tip 4, which is the BET framework, which stands for build, engage, and tease. At the start of your launch, in that pre-launch phase, you want to be following the BET framework, which is build your offer, look at your marketing campaign and the angle that you're going to take for your launch, and then build out your launch plan. Then you're going to actually start engaging with your followers, with your email list, with your followers on social media. Ask them, have they done a challenge before? Get them to give you feedback on what you're proposing. Now, you don't want to give them specifics here because we're quite far out from the actual launch, but you want to let them know something good's coming. So we want them to engage as much as possible, and we can use polls. Then you want to tease, so show them behind the scenes, show them you working on the app, show them the actual sales page and what it is, and then have like a little countdown to announcing what it is. Now let's move on on and go to tip number 5, which is the timely lead magnet. Now, this is something that I've been using recently with my clients, and it's been working phenomenally. And basically, it's using the principle of give first, ask second. And what you want to do is you want to promote this around 28 to 21 days out from the early access, that first time people can actually start paying you money. Don't let the lead magnet cannibalize your offer. So what you don't want to do is 21 days out go, I'm going to give you an 8-week free training, nutrition plan, etc. And therefore it ends up cannibalizing your actual launch offer. There's a few different options we've got here. My client Josh used a 21 lean, which was 21 days where they got training, nutrition. They had access to his app as well as an email autoresponder. Again, nurturing them, letting them know that his actual paid the resistance program was coming up at the end of the 21 days. He also built a PDF guide, Build Without Bullshit. And here again is my client Stuart. As you can see, what he's got is a nutrition for fat loss guide. And what we did on this occasion, when it's actually coming up close to a launch, we give them access to a PDF that has a call to action to join his TCM8 priority list. And this was Steve as well. Steve basically had a form library, so he'd promote it on social media, and then he would just drip feed content via email marketing, providing value in those emails, as well as giving them, oh, by the way, this challenge is coming up very soon. So the software that I like to use, and what I mentioned earlier, is ManyChat. So it enables you to collect emails from the DMs and then the wait and ask method. So I'm going to go in here. This is a calorie calculator. It's a very big automation, but what I want to show you is this. So once they've opted in, we scroll across. During the launch time, we wait 20 minutes after they've opted in, and then we pretty much say, oh, I forgot to mention, I'm launching my next TCM 8-week fat loss challenge on the 28th of Jan. We've already collected their email. They click on this button, it takes them through to the opt-in page, and we get them to opt in. What we can also do is once we've captured their email, we don't even have to send them to a page. We can just say, if you're interested, click yes or no. So we've got that option there. Moving on to tip number 6. What do you actually do with your social media content? How frequently should you post about your launch? When should you post about your launch? And what types of promotional materials can you use? When it comes to social media, you want to make sure that you are focusing on 2 mental triggers. And those are authority and social proof. As you get closer to the launch, you want people to see you as an authority, that you know what the hell you're doing, and you want to show them results that you've got other people just like them from your 8-week challenge. And that builds authority from your content and knowledge, as well as social proof from whether it's screenshots, video testimonials, written testimonials. How many times should you post? Whatever you're posting currently on social media, let's use Instagram as an example. Here we've got that you're posting 5 times per week, Monday to Thursday, little break on Friday, and then one on Saturday. Post your normal valuable content, and then just post on top of that. So what you might want to do is promote 2 to 3 times per week on your feed, say for example on Instagram, and you can be a little bit more aggressive on your stories. The closer you get, the more specific you want to be. So when we look at 2 types of promotional content, we can either call them direct or indirect, or what I like to call, oh, by the way. So this is my client Steve. He's got over 850k followers, and he naturally prefers to do more indirect promotion. When it comes to Black Friday, we also incorporated direct promotion. So this was quite simply telling them exactly what it is. Black Friday up to 70% off plus 2 weeks free. This is his indirect version of the Black Friday. He's jumping on a trend and it's shorter, and he's still letting people know, craft the Black Friday sale, click get your offer below. Originally it didn't have click get your offer below, but I wanted to use that for ads, so we had that there. Now when it comes to the actual sales page itself, this is a very simple layout that you can use, that I use with my clients, which is really effective. A hello bar where you're going to call out urgency, maybe a countdown, maybe only 10 spaces remain. Then you're going to have your eyebrow, which is pretty much calling out your target market, followed by a headline. In X weeks, you will achieve Y result using Z mechanism. That's a very simple way that you can do that. Underneath that, you want to have a video sales letter. Again, I'll do another video another time about how you can build that script out. Then you're going to have your first button. Under there, you want to have social proof. If it's in that early access phase of the launch and the bonuses are there, you want to make those front and center, nice and high up on the page. Then you want to do maybe a dem verse up. Normally you get this from the crappy fitness influencers, but with me, you get this instead. They're bad, you're good, pick me, not them. Then you actually break down your offer. So you'll be going into more detail what it is they exactly will get, showing them images of the coaching app or resources that they're going to get. And then we're going to have a countdown timer, like create more scarcity here, followed by another button. And you'll see those buttons. When people click those buttons, they're going to scroll down to the 2-step audio form. Then you want client testimonials, whether it's written or videos, before and afters. And this bit here, you can see is the sign up form. Here we use a two-step order form, which basically means they put their name, their email in, and then they go through to payment details. Now we've collected their name and email. So if they go off that page and they don't sign up, we can retarget them with ads, and we can also retarget them with emails. So be like, hey, looks like you forgot to sign up. Why don't you sign up? Here's the link. And then finally, you're going to have frequently asked questions. What are some of the questions that you get asked over and over again? Put them there. And at the bottom, if you can, with the software, have like a little web chat, bonus points, send it over to WhatsApp. People have got questions, get them to click there, send you a message, and then you can basically put them at ease and get their money. Tip 8, we're going to be looking at how you can automate your onboarding process. As I mentioned before, there's 3 types of challenges: group, personalized, and customized. Now, the one that you probably want to automate the most are either 1 or 2. Group, because you're looking at lower price and more volume, and personalized, again, a little bit even more technically than the group one, because you'll be assigning them specific programs based on them completing the form. Automation can help when you have a lot of people signing up. Hopefully you get a lot of people signing up for your launch. But what most will do is either manual onboarding or use the sticky tape method. So the sticky tape method might be Typeform, MailChimp, Google Drive, coaching app, and they're trying basically put everything together. I call that the sticky tape method. This is the tech stack that I use with my clients. It's Systemize to Scale, which is a version of high level, specifically for online personal trainers. We use Zapier, and then they have their coaching app. Now, the reason why we do it this way, some people like TrainWise, some people like HubFit, some people like PT Distinction. I don't care what it is. You don't want to change everything. Some have pros, some have cons. So what you want to do here, they pay, they complete an onboarding form, you create this automation, and they automatically get access. So this is an example, one that I built out for my client Stuart. They completed the form, and then based on their answers, it put them into different pipeline stages, and we tagged them. Once it done that, it put them into this bit here. Again, I've blurred it out so you can't see personal details, but he could see exactly how many people signed up to his challenge and how many people selected what program. What we did then is I just went over to Zapier, and we basically said, when someone goes into this pipeline stage, add them as a client on HubFit, the software that they use, and give them access to this onboarding flow. And that is all automated. I love automations. I'm geeky. I love it a lot. Bigger your launch, the more automations you will need. The more personalized, the more automation you will need as well. Tip number 9, most online personal trainers that do challenges are looking to try and get, yes, more cash injection into their business, but also to get more people onto their one-to-one online coaching service. So I've created the Next Step protocol, and it's pretty damn good. And what I'm going to do is go through that. So let's say you've got an 8-week challenge. Week 1, you want to onboard them. Week 2, 3, you want to focus on just getting them results. Week 4, you can use that more as a review, how they're getting on their first 4 weeks in, comparing their measurements, before and after photos, etc. Then again, week 5 results. Obviously, week 5 onwards to 8. Every week you're looking to try and get results. But on week 6 of an 8-week challenge is when you're doing your check-in, and you put it in the community. You do it one-to-one. We call them the Next Step calls. So you'll send that out on this week 6, and you'll also send it out on week 7. Now, what you're going to do is you say these calls are only available for week 7 and week 8, and there's a limited number of spaces. So you want to make sure that the call's no longer than 20 minutes. You might be thinking that's not enough time, Luke. Well, you've already got them to buy into you through the challenge. We want to try and get as many calls as possible, especially if you've had 50, 100, 150 people sign up to your challenge. That's a lot of people to get through. And you're going to have terrible weeks and great weeks at the same time with a load of calls stacked up back to back. And it also causes you to not oversell things. With this, you've got your pre-call structure. What you're going to do is you're going to go into the coaching app, and you're going to look at their progress pics. You will look at their measurements. Terrible writing, I know. I'm probably going to stop writing now. So don't worry. And just make some notes before the actual call itself. What we're going to do then is we're going to start the call and briefly say how well they've done. This is fantastic, John. You've achieved X result in 6 or 7 weeks. Keep smashing it the last week or 2. Then you want to find out what their next goal is, because most people that sign up for your challenge probably ain't going to get the results they desire in an 8-week period. So what you want to do then is find out what it is. What you can say to them, John, what's the next goal? John might say he wants to lose another 10 kg. Perfect. Now, based on his progress already in 6 weeks, he's dropped 6 kg. So he's got 16 kg he wants to lose. Now, we know the rate of weight loss will slow down, but you can say to him, based on your progress so far, that might be X number of weeks before you achieve that, John. All you need to do is drop another 0.7% of your body weight per week to achieve that. I feel like we can do this by having a mini diet break, enjoy Christmas. Then when you come back, we can go harder again. And based on this information, this will probably take another 16 weeks. So John, you've got 2 options. Option 1, complete the challenge and go it alone. Option 2, complete the challenge and sign up to one-to-one coaching. Now, what works really well here is because you've got back-to-back calls, tell them exactly how many calls you've got. Like, you don't have that much time because you've only got 20 minutes. You've got 10 more people on that, but you will naturally have a limit of how many people you can take on one-to-one. Depends if you're a one-man band or 2, 3, 4 people that are online coaching. So what you want to do then is take a small deposit, get some cash baby, cash monies. There you go. Just because I've got the pen, so I want to put it there. That's $signs, actually. That's better, more specific. What you want to do then is say, to guarantee your space, pay a £50 deposit or whatever that number would be, and then agree to them when that actual payment for their online coaching will start. Because again, they're still in your challenge. So you don't want to get them to pay for one-to-one coaching now when they still got 2 weeks left. Take a small deposit, find out the date they want to start, and then start the payment on that date for recurring monthly revenue. Just like Stuart did, who managed to get 20 people and convert at over 38% of the people that signed up to his challenge. So he did it extremely well. Tip number 10, yes, we've got there, is plan. But what I want to do is give you the chance to not only get an in-depth email over 10 days, breaking down each individual tip that I just went through, but I also want to give you access to my sort of little spreadsheet that I use. Obviously, there's variation of that, but this spreadsheet here, you can see, has the ability where you can select the date that your challenge starts, select the early access date, select the priority list date, everything reverse engineers. You'll select the actual marketing channels you will use for your launch, and you start plugging stuff into that launch sheet. So you can see exactly how many days you are out from your launch, as we can see here. There, currently it's 103. As I change the date, it goes to 110. So you'll see that right there. So I'm going to give you access to that. And then I'm also going to give you access to this. This is a Kanban style board, and I've broken up each individual section of the launch. And I've said, giving you like some to-dos for you to go through and make sure that you're building out everything there. And I'll give you some examples here and just a little bit more context in the description of each to-do. So you can get that. All you have to do is, if you're on the desktop, scan this, it'll take you through to the page, or go to yourbestlaunch.com/10. If you've got any questions at all about launching, put them in the comments. And if you want to learn how my client Josh got 35 signups in just 6 days, click this video here.